Was it difficult shooting this season in a pandemic? It was difficult because although we all have our processes as actors, we had to be respectful to the virus. We had to remember that there's bigger things at stake right now, such as health. And for that reason, a lot of us were a bit timid to come back. But coming to the end of it, it was all worth it. And us working in the pandemic proved to me that this industry can still strive and overcome adversity no matter what you throw at it. So yeah, it was difficult, but in the long run, it was brilliant to get through it. Could you see yourself playing another role in Snowfall other than Franklin? I could definitely see myself playing another role on Snowfall. And if I were to play another role, it would be Gail Bean's character, Wonder Bill. If Damson Idris had a theme song, what would it be? And what is Franklin's theme song? I think my theme song is Sade, Smooth Operator. And I think Franklin's theme song is Sade, Smooth Operator. Definitely. If Franklin could change two things, what would they be? I think he would not kill his close friend Kevin. And secondly, I think if he could turn back time, he wouldn't contribute to Melody being addicted to crack cocaine. Is it tough playing this role? It is tough playing Franklin Saint. One, because as the seasons go on, we gather more viewers. The show is growing, and for that reason, we hope to keep the bar as high as possible. That's an immense amount of pressure. Two is tough because every day I walk on set, I want to make John Singleton proud. And three is tough because Franklin Saint represents so many young Black boys who went down the wrong path. And in order to do them justice and represent them in the best way possible, it takes a great deal of focus and dedication. And that could take a lot out of you as an artist. So I'd say that's the toughest three things about playing Franklin. How has John Singleton's passing affected Snowfall? The biggest way Singleton's passing has affected Snowfall is John was really passionate about the show, and that passion moved through a crew. And in his absence, we've lost some of that boyish, kiddish energy that he always brought to set. You know, he'd scream, "That's what I'm talking about!" Like anytime he did a good scene, like he'd run out and give you a pound, and I missed that. But above all things, he left us the codes to carry on, and alongside constantly trying to make him proud, we're staying true to his vision and staying true to everything he wanted to bring to the universe. So he's not with us, but he's still with us. If you didn't do this role on Snowfall, who do you think would do it just as well? So many people, because I know a lot of people who come up to me and they'll do a whole Franklin impersonation in front of me. I'd say my homeboy Daniel Kaluuya would kill it playing Franklin. Where do you draw the inspiration to play Franklin Saint? From three people. Three people influenced me building this character. The first was Denzel Washington's Frank Lucas in American Gangster. That's my favorite movie. And his focus on family and achieving what he wanted to achieve by any means necessary was hugely influential to Franklin's mentality. Bryan Cranston's Walter White in Breaking Bad, his arc moving from vulnerable teacher to feared drug lord, that inspired me. And the third one was a weird one. It was Andy Serkis's Caesar and Planet of the Apes. His vigilance and his leadership. I watched that movie again and again and again, and was completely inspired by the way Caesar carried himself, and that hugely influenced how Franklin carries himself. What made you choose to be an actor? In a nutshell, I had a compulsion with humans, man, and exploring different realities and connecting to different realities. And I thought football, soccer, for you Americans, was going to do it for me. But God had a different calling, man, and acting is one that not only is going to help me connect to the world, but it's going to help me connect to the world for a very long time. During season 1, did you think Snowfall would get this big? No, no. I was praying that we'd get a season 2, and I was like, yeah, we'll do 2 seasons. That was in my head, and then they picked up the pilot. They did season 1, and it was a struggle to get season 2. But when we got it, man, we never looked back, and we've been running with it ever since. And still, every time we get a new season, it's shocking to me. But it's also fulfilling and fantastic, because I know that next season is going to create opportunities for dreamers like myself to do what they love. What are some of the characteristics that you and Franklin Saint have in common? We're both tall, dark, and handsome. I'd say the biggest comparison me and Franklin have is our love for our mothers and that importance. That's, I think, what we have in common. And that's the biggest characteristic that I draw from Franklin in general anyway. Do you catch yourself talking like Franklin Saint on regular days when you're not working? On regular days when I'm not working, yes, sometimes I do talk like Franklin Saint. Can't help it. It's mostly when I chill with my friends who are from LA. I'll just randomly just start to talk, and they don't even correct me. They're just, it's weird, man. And it's why it's going to be even more difficult to one day say goodbye to Franklin Saint. But for now, I'm enjoying the ride. You feel me? What's the hardest scene you've had to film in Snowfall, and why? Oh, there's been so many. The hardest scene I've had to film on Snowfall was season 1, episode 5, when Franklin gets choked by the police. That was so difficult for me to film. We had so many background artists with us. The entire cast was there. It was a 4th of July episode. And while Franklin's getting choked, I immediately felt the energy of so many young, innocent Black victims who have experienced police brutality. And all the while that was happening, his father walked away from him. And that was incredibly personal too. So I immediately started crying in front of everyone. In front of the whole crew, the cast, everyone. After they yelled cut, I was crying. I couldn't stop crying. Because that energy in that moment was so spiritual. And that was the most difficult moment for me to film in Snowfall. What's your favorite episode in Snowfall? My favorite episode in Snowfall is season 2, episode 10, because it was the last episode that John Singleton directed. And it was the first time that I played with approaching my work in a different way, with a different method. And what came out of it, I was incredibly proud of. And Leon's iconic speech is in that episode too. So that was my favorite episode. When he says to Franklin, anybody try you? I love that scene. And my favorite moment in the whole season is the brick by brick scene, man. Just like everyone else. It was hot that day in that car, and me and Leon were ready. But it's so fun and amazing to see so many actors reenact that scene, and people are using it as monologues when they apply for drama school, and that's what I'm proud of. So that's why that moment's my favorite. The funniest cast member on set is definitely a tie between Alona Butbul, who plays Avi, and Eamon Joseph, who plays Uncle Jerome. Alon is hilarious, just simply of the way he looks. Like, this guy will be wearing Speedos and trying to have a serious conversation with the director. He's like, so what do you want me to do? So when I come out, should I be angry or should I be more calm? And he's wearing Speedos, so it's just funny. And then I'd say Eamon, because he's just a G, man. He's so funny, so wise. And he can make one word of a line just be so iconic and hilarious. Slap your daddy. What should fans expect coming into season 4? They should expect to be educated. They should expect to be entertained, of course. But above all things, they should watch this season and understand that crack cocaine is something that should be considered by everyone as a health crisis and not a comedy. Many people got involved in the selling of this drug because they wanted to better their communities, their families. And many people became victim to it because they had no other way of escaping their horrific reality. And when we look at places such as Skid Row today, I want this show to make the viewer pause, look at their life and think, how can they contribute to bettering the lives of people who are in that situation, rather than turning a blind eye on them and pretending like they don't exist. I hope the show contributes to that. I hope the show contributes to that discussion. And in doing so, I hope it makes us all better people. That's the Damson Idris Q&A. Thank you so much. Can't wait for you guys to tell me how much you love this season. Or hate it. Hopefully you don't hate it. Hopefully you love it. I think you're gonna love it. I love it. Peace.